The Industrial Revolution. Sounds fancy, right? Progress, new inventions. It was a time of great change, with new technologies transforming the way people lived and worked. But for most workers, it wasn't so great. The reality was far from the rosy picture painted by the promise of progress. Imagine working long, tiring hours in dangerous factories. The conditions were harsh and safety was often an afterthought. Picture kids, some just 5 or 6 years old, working alongside adults. These children had no time for school or play, and the pay? So little it could make a poor person feel even worse off. Families struggled to make ends meet despite the long hours. Imagine the loud noises of machines, the air filled with dust and smoke. The environment was not just uncomfortable, it was unhealthy. People worked for 12, 14, even 16 hours every day. They were always tired. Getting hurt was common. Injuries were frequent and medical care was scarce. And dying? Sadly, that was just another risk of the job. Many lost their lives to the dangerous conditions. It wasn't the good life that all those new machines promised. Something had to change. The workers' plight was a stark contrast to the era's promise of prosperity. Thankfully, some brave people decided they'd had enough. They stood up, organized, and fought for better conditions, paving the way for the labor rights we have today. Now meet Robert Owen, a visionary factory owner from Wales with a bold and revolutionary idea. He believed workers shouldn't spend their entire lives toiling away in factories, sacrificing their well-being and happiness. His radical solution: divide the day into 3 equal parts, 8 hours for work, 8 hours for leisure and recreation, and 8 hours for rest and sleep. Makes sense, right? Treating people like, well, people with needs and desires beyond just labor. Owen even implemented this innovative schedule in his own factory, setting a precedent for others to follow. And guess what? The world didn't end. In fact, it thrived. His factory continued to run efficiently, and his workers were noticeably healthier and happier. Imagine that. Other factory owners laughed at Owen's idea, which he called the 888 system. They were more concerned with maximizing their profits, often at the expense of their workers' well-being. But a seed was planted in the minds of the workers. Workers began to believe that life could indeed be better, that they deserved more than just endless labor. And once you give people hope, it's hard to take it away. The idea of a balanced life started to spread, inspiring future labor movements. In the mid-1800s, labor unions emerged. These were groups formed by workers to fight for better conditions. And their biggest demand, you guessed it, the 8-hour workday. These unions believed everyone deserved respect at work and the right to a life outside the factory. They weren't asking for favors, they were demanding what was fair, decent pay for a day's work and enough time to enjoy it. After all, what's the point of progress if it doesn't help the people doing the work? The fight for the 8-hour workday was long and hard. It began in the late 19th century with workers demanding fairer conditions and more humane hours. There were strikes, protests, wins and losses. Each event marked a step forward or a setback, but the resolve of the workers never wavered. But slowly the movement grew stronger, spreading to different countries and jobs. Workers from various industries and backgrounds joined forces, realizing their shared struggle. It wasn't easy. Challenging the way things are never is. The opposition was fierce, with many powerful interests resisting change. But the workers kept going. They organized, strategized, and kept their eyes on the goal, knowing that their perseverance would eventually pay off. They knew that sticking together was their biggest strength. Unity gave them the power to stand up against exploitation and demand their rights. And they knew that fighting for a better future was worth it. Their efforts were not just for themselves, but for future generations of workers. The 8-hour workday, once a radical dream, is now normal in many places. It stands as a testament to their hard-fought victories and enduring legacy. It shows what people can achieve when they work together for a better world. The story of the 8-hour workday is a powerful reminder of the strength of collective action. The legacy of the 8-hour workday is not just a relic of the past, but a living, breathing testament to the power of unity and perseverance. Today, workers continue to build on this foundation, striving for even better conditions, fairer wages, and more balanced lives. The spirit of those early pioneers lives on in every demand for justice, every call for fairness, and every fight for dignity in the workplace. Modern challenges may differ, but the essence of the struggle remains the same. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century workplace, the lessons of the past guide us. They remind us that progress is possible, that change is within reach, and that together we can achieve anything. The 8-hour workday movement was not the end of the story, but rather the beginning of an ongoing journey towards a more equitable world. It serves as a beacon of hope and a source of inspiration for all who continue to fight for a fairer future. And so as we look back with gratitude, we also look forward with determination. The fight for workers' rights is far from over, but with the legacy of the 8-hour workday as our guide, we move forward with confidence and hope. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content.